Hey coding owls, welcome back to the channel. This video we are going to talk about a concept called as object destructuring. Now, we transfer a lot of data between various pages. Sometimes we pass the data in objects and that object contains tens of, twenties of, fifties of variables. Now, the traditional way of taking it out was a bit different. Like we used to have to use dot operator all the time. So JavaScript has got into a concept called as object destructuring. Let's explore that. As you can see on my screen, let's consider there is an object which contains a lot of various fruits. Now, if you want to take out those fruits, you have to say fruits dot watermelon, fruits dot grapes, fruits dot pineapple, and so on and on and on. We have to just keep on using the dot operator for so many things. But what if JavaScript provides us with a different way called as object destructuring, where when I use const and then use a pair of curly brace and I point it towards the object, I will be able to access those variables straight away without using the dot operator, and it makes our life much more easier. So how about let's jump into this practical and understand this. On my screen I have created an object destructuring.js file. Now consider I have an object. Let's say the object is address. So my address is equal to, and let's say the address contain multiple things, like for example the city I belong to is Mumbai, then the state I belong to Maharashtra. Okay, then let's say I give you a pin code. So my pin code is 400001. Okay. And then I have my country is India. So now I have an object which contains four different variables. I want to take out those. So let me first also show you the traditional way. So the traditional way of getting all these variables out would be what? Let's say const city is equal to address.city, then const state is equal to address dot state, then const pin code is equal to address dot pin code, and then I have got const country is equal to address dot country. So we have got these four variables, and if I say console log and I want to print this, so console log I will start with I'll just make some markers between them, city comma hyphen hyphen state comma hyphen hyphen pin code comma hyphen hyphen comma country. So you see what we do here is we bring in this, and now what I'll say node space I have got object destructuring, and I run this and I get this detail. So this is the traditional way. This is something we all know. Now let's try the object destructuring way. So what I'll do is for now comment this off. When we do the object destructuring, what we normally do, so this is my object destructuring. Under my object destructuring, I will say const. I'll put a pair of curly brace is equal to, and then I mark it to the base object. Here in my object, I will say city, state, then I have got pin code, and I have got country. See how easy it has become to, and I will get the same output. Yeah, if you see, I'll make the changes. I'm getting the exactly same output, but how it has changed. I just made use of const, and it is not only that I have to get everything every time. For example, I got first two in the first option, then I say const, then I load the other two, which is my pin code and country, and again I point it to the. So the only idea behind showing this is that based upon your requirement, let's say your address object have 50 variables. Now you only need three. So whenever required, just point towards it, get it, and that's what you do. So this is as simple as getting in object destructuring. Now there is one more point which we need to discuss. So the idea here is, let's say even before your address was declared, there was a variable called state. Okay, and it was pointing to MH, which is a acronym for Maharashtra. Now this time what will happen, the variable was already there, and as per the JavaScript scope you cannot declare another variable. See, while you are declaring it here, there was an option. Yeah, there always used to be an option that you can fetch the data as per your requirement. And you can also, like, instead of state you would have said st, but how will you do it here? Because this time you're destructuring it and you want to fetch it out. So when you want to fetch an object, original object, and rename it, yeah, how do you normally do that? You put up a you put up a colon, and you say st now. So this time what will happen, it will, from address it will destructure a state and rename it as st in your scope. So this time, if let's say here I add up st, comma, and you see, let's see the output. So this time it is Mumbai MH, which was for state, then my destructured object of Maharashtra, then my pin code, then my country name. This would be a beautiful time for you to go and subscribe to my channel. Your subscription motivates us to create more such videos. So here we are checking out what happens when you have a function and you want to try destructuring. Now this is still a traditional way. If you see, I get the output in a different order here. What I've got, functioning and destructuring, we have got state, city, and pin code. And I have a display address function. I get the address and I display that address. But what if I tell you that in React we use this a lot for doing the destructuring stuff. So that time, how do we update our function? So let's say I'll create function display address new way. Yeah, let's say new way. This is what we normally do in React as well, that you are accepting props, and the props are so many, so you know that you're going to get state, you're going to get city, and you're going to get country, and you also want pin code. I this time I'm decoding it all, destructuring it all, but still, yeah, that's not a problem. And then I say console log, and this all is getting printed inside my function. Okay, inside my function. So here I do console log, I have got city, then I have got state, I have got country, okay, and I have got pin code. I have got all this code, and then let me just call this with what. So when I call this thing now, I'm not going to pass multiple things. I will simply pass my address object, and I'm expecting the same output. So clear screen, and you see from those functions I get this value. So this is how destructuring in JavaScript helps to make our working much more easier. Thank you for watching this video. Do subscribe. The code link will be in the description.